Welcome back, everyone, to Weekly Wine Comic Time. I'm your host, Niko.
And I'm Christine.
Thank you, as always, to anyone who's checked out the show thus far and who's commented on it. And thank you for coming back each week to hear us talk about comics. We do enjoy doing this.
We very much appreciate it, too.
And also, thank you if you have checked out the YouTube channel. As we mentioned last episode, we just launched a YouTube channel, which I hope to have more comic-related content on soon enough when I do get the chance as well. But at this point in time, we've been recording the Late Night Chat with JT and Niko, our flagship podcast on the Late Night Chat network that we have on SoundCloud. So we'll be recording the episodes and posting them for you guys. So if you want something a little bit different, kind of where we touch on a bunch of different subjects, definitely check that out.
It's always an entertaining watch, especially.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with the wines for this evening. The first one's actually a Neek's pick. It's called A Twist of Fate, and it's a winemaker's red. This, I believe, is just a product of Ontario. It's just an Ontario wine. This one is just a blend of reds. It's a pretty smooth blend. It's nothing too bold.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it went down pretty good. And it was like just under $10.
I think it was like $9
yeah.
for a bottle, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So that one went down really well. That one I'll pick up again for sure this winter.
Yeah.
And then the next one we had was the like a tried and true one for us is a Yellowtail Big Bold Red, which is also a blend, but definitely has, like the name says, a bolder flavor to it.
Yeah, and as you know, since it's Yellowtail, it's an Australian wine. They're mostly known for their Shirazes, but this is this Big Bold Red is we've been drinking it for years. It's a good solid
tried and
red.
true.
Yeah, exactly. The two actually went really well together tonight, I would say.
Yeah, they paired very well.
It tasted like you almost were drinking the same wine bottle to bottle, right? Like,
yeah,
so,
one just maybe was a little bit stronger than the other.
Yeah,
but other
the Big
than
Bold
that,
Red for sure was a little bit stronger. But
yeah, both fantastic wines. Good picks for this evening.
Yeah, it was good. And good comics for this evening. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure this out on the fly because I'll straight up tell you today I'm going to have a hard time. There's some good... This is a great week of comics. I don't know about you, but I was either in the mood tonight or just...
Well, you flew through them, so you were in the mood for sure. Yeah,
there was a couple that didn't make the cut for the show today, actually. Just things that Christine didn't end up reading tonight. Was on both of our lists, but... I didn't feel they were worth talking about. So we both have 6 for tonight total that we'll be talking about. So did you want to get started? Or...
I did. You did start last time, so I will.
I'm
so
after
used
you.
to the person the wine comments on. The person after that usually goes, but I guess we'll do it with me. So my first one is Deceased. This is not out of the miniseries. This is a weird one-shot-ish.
Yeah,
maybe.
I guess they didn't. 5 and 6, I think, are coming out next month together in October. So maybe the regular artist needed a month break to kind of catch up and draw those. So I actually didn't end up picking this up initially. I didn't order this, so I had to run out and grab this.
Yeah, last minute grab.
Yeah, I'm glad. Anyways, I'm glad I did. But
I'm glad you did too.
It's your book that you to talk about, not mine.
Yeah, I did enjoy. Ooh, sorry, I got distracted by the ad on the end. I did really enjoy this actually. I've been enjoying the Deceased miniseries all together for the most part.
Yeah.
But this was pretty cool. I liked that it had Big Barda and Mr. Miracle, which was a pretty cool start to this. We haven't seen them in the miniseries yet. And then they just basically go on to start with a bang. Like Boomerang is one of the zombies, and it's just nonstop kind of action throughout the entire thing. Constantine's part in this makes me laugh a lot, where he's trying to drive and what's his friend's name again?
Chaz.
Chaz.
Yeah.
Fuck, I should know that from fucking Chaz.
Yeah.
And he has to burn him basically and sit in his ashes, and he still can't drive a car, so he crashes that. I had a lot of fun with this issue. I gave this a 3.5. It wasn't fantastic. Stop looking at me like I'm weird.
Really? Why? Just because it was just like whatever for you?
Yeah,
it was just
like it
your
didn't.
Basic run
It was a basic book. I did enjoy it. I thought I had fun with it, but I guess maybe it was the last one I read tonight, and
right.
Like I was on a high, and then this one was just kind of like a lull. I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm sorry to look at you that way, but for me, this was an absolute 5. I love this is my
Wow.
favorite issue of Deceased thus
Really?
far. Yes,
Wow.
and like as you know, you've been enjoying Deceased more than I have. I feel like,
I was.
and it's been a fun Elseworlds kind of zombie, your basic zombie tale, and Tom Taylor's a good writer. But yeah, no, for me, this one in particular was a hell of a lot of fun. I'll tell you why. I mean, first off, you get the Mr. Miracle Big Barda parts, which almost felt like a continuation of the Mr. Miracle series because
Yeah.
they even made a joke about the veggie tray. And
No, I know.
and
They
that
did
kind
all
of
those.
stuff.
Yes.
I thought they used Mr. Terrific to great to in a great way, like with his I forgot what his T-spears, those balls that are sort of floating around. Like, did you see those going through the zombies?
Yeah.
That's his he controls those.
Oh.
So like the way he had them zipping in and out of zombies to kill them, I thought was pretty awesome use of it.
I guess I kind of missed some things then. I don't know what
You
that
got
was.
some fantastic Tom Taylor dialogue he's so good at, and this fucking, like you said, the Constantine scene with him running from the zombies, like almost in like an Indiana Jones,
running away from the big ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, well, like when he runs to the plane, like it was. It was like it was just like in that fashion. He's like, Chaz, start the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's running, and it was
Go.
drawn by Derek Robertson from Transmetropolitan. I love his fucking art. So
I didn't even know that.
All the Constantine parts, well, most of them, because after that part with the zombies and
changed.
Chaz, it changed a little bit.
Yeah.
But that particular scene, I don't know how they got him to come and do a few pages of this. Like, it's not like he's drawn, like, I think a Big 2 comic in a while. At least I haven't seen his work in a while. So I loved seeing him pop up on this book. I love his work. It was just funny. I thought it was really well done. And yeah, I guess it was also because of the fact that Constantine was in it and Dr. Fate and Zatanna show up at the end, and I love those magic characters in DCU. Yeah, I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with this being outside of the main DC series but tying into it in a lot of fun ways. I really appreciate it. I give it a 5. I thought it was a hell of a lot of fun. So
Excellent.
yeah,
I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's funny what you said about it, though. I felt about the DC series, I've just thought it was like a 3.54 type book for me for the most part in terms of ratings. It's just
that's usually what I do.
It's been good, but for whatever reason, this one just
blew it out of the water for
really
you.
clicked for me.
Nice.
Next up, we got Legion of Superheroes, Millennium. This is part 1 of 2. And this is written by Brian Bendis, and it's got a slew of different artists and inkers. All great artists: Jim Lee, Dustin Nguyen, Andrea Sorrentino, Andre Lima Araujo, and then you got inkers. You got Scott Williams, of course. He always works with Jim Lee. Dustin Nguyen inked himself. Andrea, the rest of them all basically inked themselves. Yeah. Anyways, I will say I enjoyed the artists throughout this. I'm not a huge Jim Lee mark. Like, I know people love Jim Lee off. I think he's done some great work in his career. I don't think this was bad by any means. I don't get too excited by seeing his art on books usually.
Fair.
Dustin Nguyen's great. I mean, the fact that he got Dustin Nguyen and Andrea Sorrentino, who are both working with Jeff Lemire now on their own creator-owned titles, to come and do a few pages was pretty cool, because those are both really good artists. So, like, seeing him and Sorrentino here. And I actually also like Andre Araujo. He did some stuff over at Marvel. And I really like his style.
I wasn't familiar.
Yeah,
well, at least from his name.
Yeah, he did Avengers AI. He did like a couple of other things, like smaller series. He kind of bounces around. Like, he hasn't had like a well-established run, I would say, on anything. But I thought he was a good fit for this book, like for futuristic settings.
Yeah,
like, he does that kind of stuff really good. So I liked his stuff quite a bit. The story, though, was just okay for me. Like, I picked this up because Bendis is going to be writing the Legion of Superheroes. I've never really read the Legion of Superheroes. That is one big blank spot in my knowledge of
repertoire.
I've never read anything about it. Apparently, it's really hard to get into because there's like 1,000 fucking Legion of Superheroes characters. The runs aren't really collected well, so I've just never really got into it, right? Okay. So I figured Bendis would be a good jumping on point because I like his writing, and he usually kind of, to some fans' dismay, ignores a lot of continuity type stuff that came prior to, but it's a good opportunity.
But allows people to jump
Exactly. So he's a friendly writer, a new reader friendly writer in that sense.
Which
I feel
you
a lot
need
of the
in
time.
this day and age sometimes.
Right. But I didn't know why he started this out like this. Like, this seems like a precursor for the Legion series he's going to be doing. But, like, why he had Rose and Thorn, like, going through different... Like, I get it. She's found out in this issue that she's immortal for whatever reason. Like, her whatever her split personality thing is, she doesn't age.
Yeah.
I guess apparently as a result of it, she finds out of this. And you've seen him write a little bit of Rose and Thorn in his current Action Comics stuff that he's been doing with Superman. So he must really enjoy this character, because they kind of use this character like as a way to kind of show different periods in time in the DC universe. Like, and eventually, because Legion of Superheroes takes place in the future.
Okay. I know nothing about Legion of Superheroes.
That's the extent of what I know.
Okay.
Like, basically, they're superheroes from the future.
Okay.
And their stories have always taken place in the future, but there's a lot of DC stories where they end up coming back to the past.
Just to connect it.
Right.
Okay.
So he's using her as his, like, catalyst to kind of show you, like, I guess...
Through time,
right,
or whatever.
and Batman Beyond, we know that's the future Batman story. So, like, you know, it was kind of cool seeing the different artists and different kind of time periods that she was kind of dipping in and out of. I just didn't see the point other than that. Like, I get eventually she's probably going to lead up to the Legion of Superheroes, and then he'll probably launch his series, like, from there. But for me, I was just kind of confused as, like, this didn't feel necessary. Like, other than some great jam of really good artists getting together and telling, like, possibly a precursor to Legion, I was just like, whatever. So I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, this one I liked more than you. I gave this one a 4. This one, the first story, like the Jim Lee one, whereas again, like, I'm not like a super gung-ho Jim Lee.
Yeah.
The other art, the Andrea Sorrentino and
Dustin
Nguyen, like, I will follow their art on whatever books they do, basically. But Jim Lee's storyline in this captured me from the beginning, and I am so intrigued. I wanted this one story to be like the entire thing, and I will read this forever.
Right.
But like, and then it kept me going through the rest of the timeline.
Listen, he's not bad by any means.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying his art. I'm just the story in the intro.
Interesting.
I liked how, you know, I don't know anything about this character really. I just started finding out about them in the Action Comics.
But that's the thing about this issue. You don't really see any, like, Legion characters. Rose and Thorn, as far as I know, is not a Legion character.
But I didn't even know what this was when you gave this to me. I just read this completely blind.
So this worked for you as a
this worked for me. I
okay.
didn't know. I have no idea what the Legion of Superheroes is. I have no context to it. I read this completely blind, and I enjoyed it.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, like, just this character intrigues me so much. I have a very, like, I really like to know more about people with, like, multiple personalities. Like, that intrigues me.
Yeah.
And just the way that they wrote it was really cool. Like, I know it did jump through timelines a bit, and that was a little bit jarring, but that's why I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really quite enjoyed that.
It was fun for what it was, but I'm glad you went into it with no expectations, because I had some expectations as a result of, like, oh, I need to know about these characters now. Like, show me who they are.
Oh, you handed it to me, and I literally was like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Okay, so my next book is the Savage Avengers. So this is the one of 3 Conan comics that I have read today. So this one, I like this a lot better than the first issue, or the last issue, not the first issue. The first issue was amazing. But no, this one I thought was great. This one kind of started off with a bang. They what was the characters' names in these? The ones that they were, like, the weird...
Kothal Gar or whatever.
Okay,
like, something like that.
Yeah, some weird. I was like, I don't know what the hell Conan, this is anymore.
These Conan, like, creature things he always fights or always have, like, some
just
sort of
bizarre.
Weird name like that.
Like, I like Crom.
Yeah.
I can deal with Crom. But yeah, like, I liked how every character was actually displayed very well in this. They all had their moment. They all had time. Whereas a lot of them didn't really get that in past issues. Like, you'd see, like, a snippet in one panel and you're like, where? But they had like awesome action scenes.
They were shredding fucking people
it was
up in this one.
Like Wolverine was just like basically the hammer while his arm got hammered into somebody's skull. Like, it was nuts. Like, the teamwork in this was awesome. The goriness was great. I loved this issue. This was so much fun. And then by the end, they all separate. So I'm very intrigued.
But they all had really good plausible reasons to meet back up with each other.
No, I know. And then even Conan, Elektra has stuff going on with everybody. Yeah. But I'm so intrigued. I gave this a 4.5.
I also gave it a 4.5. I really enjoyed this issue. Again, I'm not in love with the art. I've never have been. And, I mean, we'll be talking about another book that Mike Deodato drew later tonight. I felt, again, this was the poorer of the two in terms of how it looked. This just looked a little bit rushed and sketchy. It wasn't as bad as last issue, but I just think, like, his style of art in this
it's very different.
It's been the reason why I haven't been a big Mike Deodato fan for the last few years, because this is kind of the style that he's kind of embraced. But yeah, for what it was though, in terms of the story, I really enjoyed this. Like you said, I mean, there was some great character moments. They all kind of finally teamed up together in this to take down the bad guy. They all had reason to get back together at the end. I love that Conan walked out.
Yeah, they all separated.
Walked off with Punisher. Yeah. And as he was dragging his family's coffins along like the land, like that was pretty awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I just thought this is basically what I signed up for. This book has been essentially both things that I thought it was going to be. Is really fucking stupid at times and really fucking fun action
it's
with
such
like
an up and down series.
But that's what I mean. That's what I mean by it hasn't been both at the same time. It's been either one or the other.
That's true.
And that's what I mean. So like one issue has been great, the other one was like, the next issue was great again. So like
it's fucking weird.
So every time I'm stepping away, they're pulling me back in. So
they rock you back. But I'm really intrigued for this next arc.
Same, because the way they ended it was really interesting. Yeah, so Conan Gath, that's the name of the guy. Conan Gath. He looks like a fucking boss from Mortal Kombat or something. Yeah. 4.5 as well. I really, really enjoyed this. All right, next up we got Sea of Stars number 3. This is by Jason Aaron and Dennis Hallam co-writing, which was Dennis Hopeless previously. He, I guess, is going by his actual name now. I guess Dennis Hopeless was a pen name. Artist Stephen Green, and we should mention Rico Renzi, the colorist on this, because the color in this book is spectacular.
It's phenomenal.
Rico Renzi, famously, who I guess more recently you might know him from coloring Spider-Gwen, which was also known for its vibrant colors.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
I always love the colors on that.
Yeah, so that's there you go. That's
it makes
why.
sense.
Yeah,
and a very same color palette.
Yes,
very similar color palette.
Yeah, really crazy hues of light blues and purples
reds,
and
pinks. I mean, not reds.
A lot of colors that most other colors will stay away from. Yeah. So and for this book, it works perfectly. I mean, they're in space. They're going to different worlds. Shit is going down in this book. I must say, this book is slowly growing on me. Not that I've never not enjoyed it. It's just never been like a 5 title for me in terms of like it's not killing it every single issue where I'm like, this is consistently one of the better books I'm reading. But it's been good and it's building. You can have your time with it in a moment.
I know.
But my favorite part about this book is still the ongoing struggle of the father. Like this father is just getting shit on consistently for 3 fucking issues now. No, it's just like every time you think he's out of one situation, he gets himself into a next one. Like he gets that fucking
it's so true.
Yeah, that robot like security thing, like he gets in his face and he's like fuck off to it, and then it zaps him and he like flies onto some other fucking to the point where he has to like wrestle the thing down and like break it open afterwards. He's like, I told you to stop squirming and shit like that. He's like if you just listen to me, I wouldn't have to crack you open like this. And he's like, tell me where my son is, right? He's trying to get like a bead on like where his son is.
Yeah, like the signal.
And then meanwhile, the son's story is shrouded with mystery. Like for some reason, he must have gained powers when he went through that like black hole or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know if it was a black hole, but whatever he went through when he shot through space when he separated from his father must have given him some sort of powers, because He can understand that all the space creatures, they're afraid of him. He's like fucking pulling super heroic strength somehow.
Yeah.
And like,
He
you know.
can breathe in space.
Yeah, it's very strange. Meanwhile, that's what I mean. I think it's the polar opposites of he's thriving and the father is just getting shitted on. So I gave it a 4.5. I think it's really, really growing on me each issue that's come out. And I could see this being one of my favorite titles depending on what's going on.
Eventually.
But yeah, I mean, it's you know, there's some interesting twists and turns going on. I'm really liking it.
I love the creatures in this book.
Of course, because you like aquatic creatures
I do.
and stuff. So you see all these weird big whales.
So good. There's like a crazy, I want to say quack shark, but that's not what it's called.
Yeah, I think it was called Quark Shark.
Quark
or
shark,
like that.
that's what it is. Yeah, quark. I'm saying quack. Quark sharks. It's like this fucking world-sized shark that's swimming through the galaxy.
Then at the end, and you see, it's like there's an even bigger fucking thing that's out there.
No. It's just like you can't even grasp the size of it because it's in space.
Right.
But yeah, like I'm so floored by the colors in this. The art, I think, is perfect for this.
Yeah, I didn't talk about the art. Thank you. Yeah, the art is great, too.
Oh, fuck. The art is so good.
It's
the
sketchy in all the right ways, and it's not too sketchy.
No,
but
it's
like,
very, it's more animation. Like, I find it very much more animated than anything.
Mm-hmm. But it can get gritty when it needs to be.
Oh,
like
for sure.
He throws down the inks when he kind of
when
needs to.
it's got to be dark and dirty,
like, a lot of the scenes with the father in particular, I found.
The father and the shark. The Quark shark.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just like you said, the dynamic between the storyline of the father and the son are so vastly different.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, the colors change to basically show that all the colors with the father are very muted, very dark, very like bruised color wheel, whereas the son's very like bright and happy and pinks and purples and oh, I love this book. I gave it a 5.
Yeah, you've really been enjoying this one quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you have definitely loved it more than I have, but I get where you're coming from. It's becoming...
It's growing on
each issue that comes out, I'm loving it even more and more. Yeah,
it's growing the appreciation for it.
It's building.
Yeah. So my next one is... let's say the second Conan book of the evening. This is not actually Conan, but a Conan-esque character, which is Berserker Unbound.
It's Conan.
It's Conan. It's a red-haired Conan. There you go. This is by Jeff Lemire and art by, this is the second one by Mike Deodato Jr. This
issue
one,
2.
I think I talked about this the last time. I could not tell that this was the same fucking artist. Had no freaking idea.
Look how polished this one looks compared to the other one.
Like, is it a different inker?
No, I checked on that. It's the same colorist.
Is it the same? Oh, fuck. Like, I don't understand.
Well, who's the inker? Is there an inker on there?
No,
I think it's him.
Just him.
Yeah. He's just
the
got Frank Martin.
Is different. Yeah.
No, the colorist is the same.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Frank Martin's colored his stuff quite a bit, like, over the years.
What the hell happened between these two books?
I'm telling you, he's just putting his
heart
into
and
this
soul
book.
in this.
Yeah, this is his first book he's done outside of a Marvel book in like 20 years. I think
you said the last time too, but fuck, this looks good in comparison. The layouts still are a little odd to me, but they work. This one got better. This was so much better than the last issue in my opinion. Not that the last issue was bad, but the last issue was very much a starter issue.
Right.
So it was like a build up, starter, you introduce the character, it was kind of basic.
Sure.
This one had me laughing.
I know, I heard you.
The fact that Conan, I'm going to call him Conan because I don't even remember his name. It's
That's
Conan.
Okay. For the sake of telling you that's what the story is about, go ahead.
Conan's with this homeless guy who he finds in the forest, that he just like lands there. They're having conversations, but neither of them know what the other one's talking about.
Throughout the whole book.
They're just like, I don't know what you're saying, but they're fucking going along with each other just fine. And, Conan thinks that he's taking him to like a witch leader to open a freaking door in the caves, whereas literally he's just like, I get more food.
See, that's what you loved about this. Is he's like, yes, we must grab food and beer before our quest. Mead. That's it.
And then it's like, you just wanted the mead.
Yeah.
Then they go back, but he still followed. Like, it's not like he went off on his own. He's still carrying all the food. He's carrying the wine, and he's just following them.
Scratching your fucking fantasy itch.
Oh my god, yes. It's so good.
But it's like that mixed with fucking real world, him walking around with a bum, for fuck's sakes. That's what...
Getting his tokens to get food from the food bank and getting a meal, and he's just like, "Oh look, we might as well stop here. We get a free food out of it." And he's like, "This food." He's like, "This is pretty good." And he's like, "This food sucks." As he's eating with his fingers out of a can, like. Oh, I liked it so much. I gave this a 5.
Wow.
It was so fun.
I also gave it a higher rating than last time. I agree. This was much better than the first issue. I gave this a 4.5. And if you ended up reading the first issue and kind of like, fell off of it, didn't want to pick up the second, I definitely think you should reconsider and check out the second issue because, it did get a hell of a lot better. I mean, basically, this is Conan hanging out with a bum. Like,
in the real world, there's not much more you can really say.
But like you said, the craziness of them not understanding each other. And like him thinking they're going on a quest, but meanwhile
it's just to go up food. It's the first of the month. The food bank's open.
Again, this cannot be the only miniseries they're gonna do of this world.
I don't think so.
This
Especially
is 2
with
of
how
4.
It's good. Yeah.
Like I'm sure they were just testing the waters, and in Dark Horse fashion, they're gonna bring out another Berserker something else. Berserker Unleashed, Berserker
hardcover.
Exactly. So. Knowing that these two creators, in terms of like they have bigger names in the industry, I can't see this being the only one, right? So, anyways, I just don't see how they can have any other substantial story.
With a bum.
In 2 issues. When the first issue was about him landing on Earth, and then the second issue is him hanging out with a bum. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do in 2 more issues, but
I'm so excited to find out.
Yeah, 4.5 though. I did enjoy this.
I want these quests.
All right, next up, I got a book Christine didn't end up reading this week. Justice League 31.
No spoilers.
Actually, I think because this came out week back to back. Somehow,
I think I must be one behind.
For some reason, this one also came out last week.
That's
so
weird,
I believe
I was caught up. I just haven't read a couple from last week.
I was about to say, I think you have these 2 issues, 30 and 31 to read.
Yeah.
Basically, at the end of the last issue, this is the reveal, finally, of the Justice Society of America in the DC universe, which is a big deal for a lot of people because they've been pretty absent since, like, back in the day when Jeff Johns did, like, one of the most popular runs on the book, as well as one of his most well-known runs. I've read some of it. It was quite good. I don't really have the love for the JSA as I do for the Justice League. They're essentially like the 1940s, like the old versions of the...
another group that I have no idea about.
Exactly. But there's different variations of the characters you know and love. Like, there's a different Flash, there's a different Green Lantern. Like, you know what I mean?
They're just all the different people.
Yeah, they're just basically the older team of superheroes back in, like, the golden age of DC, essentially. Yeah. So basically in this, they get the team are still dealing with that whole end of the universe fucking huge story arc that they are dealing with the Source Wall and what's her name, not Promethea, not the Anti-Monitor, Perpetua, because the Anti-Monitor is her son, and the other guy, the other Monitor guy, whatever his name is, Anti something, and yeah, there's a lot going on in this book.
Some crazy shit.
But basically, the fact that the JSA showed up in this and seeing them interact with the Justice League, plus with the awesome art. Once again, this is written by, as I failed to mention at the start, this is written by Scott Snyder and James Tynion, who are co-writing this together. James Tynion the fourth, and George Jimenez on art, who's great. This looked awesome. Issue 31. And, this is in the midst of the Year of the Villain storyline that is happening. So, I had a lot of fun with this. Justice League is weird, because while I'm kind of getting annoyed at some points, because it's, like, such a huge storyline that they're trying to tell, that sometimes it can kind of bog down. Yeah. And I just want to see more character interactions between the teammates. As opposed to like this, like literally,
like we're
31 issues in. This has all been one fucking big storyline.
That's true.
And that's what I mean with these. And knowing Scott Snyder, he's not going to stick the landing, so it's just going to be like. I'm sorry to say,
I know.
But, you know,
he doesn't have a good track record,
right?
For that,
I know he's only co-writing this right now with James Tynion, but But every once in a while, this is consistently like a 3.54 rating book. Though,
it's a good book. Yeah,
that's what I mean. But every few issues, there's one that he knocks it right out of the park, and this is one of those. Is what I was trying to say.
That's exciting.
Very long-winded, but yeah, I gave it a 5.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I loved this issue. Seeing them show up with the JSA, as well as some other characters, which I won't spoil, that show up in this. They're basically just playing with a lot of the different DCU like history at this point. So like seeing them interact with these people and with the great art was a really good thing.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So my next book is the third Conan book of this evening.
Wow, you must like this character.
This is the legit Conan book this time.
It's Conan O'Brien.
Oh, fuck, if only.
Yeah.
So this was written by Jason Aaron and drawn by Mahmoud Asrar. This was fun. I really, like, you start off with a bang where he starts fighting that, like, you don't know where he is. He's just, like, in an acid river.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's being jumped by a little red fucking gorilla. And, like,
he's a gorilla in a red cloak. I mean,
Little Red Riding Hood. You're missing my joke.
Jeez, not funny. All right.
I was trying so hard. Anyways, and he starts biting the shit out of it, and then next thing you know, you turn around, this like goddess looking elf woman is there in very little clothing, and he's covered in blood, and she's like, that wasn't a gorilla, that was a human being. And this person is now dead, covered in leeches, and now she makes him go on another quest. And there is some god under the world god, wherever they are.
Yeah.
And they need to defeat it. So they're walking through, and basically they're saying that this god can create, or is also in your mind, and shows you all the previous monsters or people that you've fought, which is fucked up for Conan, because he's fought some real fucked up people.
Yeah, and
which
creatures.
You literally go through, like, I don't know, 15, 20 different creatures in like 3 pages, which was insane.
This must have been quite the task for Mahmoud to draw this issue.
Oh, but it was so good.
Like, I'm sure he's loving every second of it, and it looked great.
Yeah,
but, like,
there's a lot of shit going on.
For you to have to draw, like, 30 different type of creatures within, like, these amount of pages that he did, it's like, you know, that's a lot. Every other page, you got to draw some
crazy thing, yeah. But it looked so phenomenal. Yeah. And then there's, like, some crazy hand creature with mouths all over it.
Yeah.
It was like a big, huge, veiny claw with mouths. Like, it was just, like, the visuals in this were fantastic. Yeah. And then you find out that they weren't in a cave. They were in this huge monster stomach. Yeah. A quake shark, if you will.
Right. Well, yeah, because the way they made it seem was like that they were in some sort of like hellscape or something. Like some sort of like, because they're like, there was travelers from like all over with him there that were all being like suffering.
They just found out, but they all fell into like some cavern water area, and they're all being eaten by this.
Well, Conan's like, how is that possible? You're from like halfway across the world. Like, because they're all from like different places, right? And he's like, what's going on? So like, no,
I thought this was fantastic. I thought it was fun. I thought the visuals were amazing. I gave this a 5 as well.
I also agree. I also gave this a 5. Yeah. What do you mean? I love Conan. I mean,
finally we
agree. We read 3 fucking books tonight with him.
Even though you don't agree with my jokes, but...
No, I love this issue. Again, I've mentioned it on the show before. I think this book's greatest strength is the fact that every issue is a one-shot. I love that you're seeing Conan in different situations, different types of stories. Every issue, you don't really know where he's going to end up. Like,
there's no ugly-ass witch in this.
Right, and you get that through line of that story.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm assuming by the end of, probably by issue 12 or 13, by the end of the second arc, Jason Aaron will start tying that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this issue. I can't really say much more about it other than you did. I was going to basically highlight the art as well, being like probably my favorite thing about this issue.
Sure.
I thought Mahmoud killed it. Man, I would love to own any of these Conan pages.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan of original art, and Mahmoud, I don't think he's ever looked better.
Oh, fuck, he looks amazing in this.
Yeah, so I gave it also a 5. All right, next up, I got Doomsday Clock. This is number 11. 3 years fucking later, this is still coming out. I think it's definitely been like 2.5 years, I think, since it started coming out. So this is a series that's been very delayed. Started basically at the start of Rebirth, which definitely has been like 2 years at least since that's launched. Well, if you think about double shipping, that would be monthly be 12. That's 24. Batman's at over 75 issues. That was an easy way to do it. So yeah, it's been like fucking. It didn't come out right at the start of Rebirth. So yeah,
I literally think that
it's been at least 2.5 years since this has come out. It's been at least. But yeah. Listen, I've enjoyed this series quite a bit, though. It's just, it sucks because of the delays. I think that your overall enjoyment of this series is gonna be affected as a result of that, because like it's hard to revisit every issue and get back into this world after it's been 2 or 3 months. And while the art is spectacular, this is written by Jeff Johns, art by Gary Frank. Gary Frank, again, has never looked better in my opinion. Jeff Johns is doing a serviceable job of the Watchmen kind of universe, bringing them into the DC, telling a meaningful story. There's been lots of great issues. I think this is, once this is all collected, I'm going to want to go back and pick that up and
reread it all together.
This issue is good. I mean, like, it's just, for me, it's just like, the only thing about this one was like the other shoe dropped, where you're like, okay, Ozymandias, if you've read Watchmen, you know this is basically him telling his grand fucking scheme that he's been playing and pulling the strings on this whole time in the background, like as he did in Watchmen. The same kind of thing. Because he's been in this series this whole time, and this, he's basically like, okay, he's like, he pulls his bad guy moment where he's like, okay, I'm going to tell you how I was behind everything now and how I did everything. So that kind of felt like I was kind of rolling my eyes a little bit at that, because I'm like, you know what? None of this stuff is shocking me. Because like he was just nudging people in the right direction.
Yeah, basically like he was puppeteering them.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was the guy that was behind everything, and like he's the one who started up the war with Kahndaq, which was basically, like, let's face it, that's them commenting on, like, the Iraq kind of war, essentially. Like, it seems like, right? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, so, or Iran or whatever.
Yeah, the current basic war.
Exactly. Yeah. And I get it. Like, just like Watchmen with the Cold War, he's trying to relate it to our times in that sense.
Yeah.
With this Doomsday Clock. And I think he's doing a good job. But like, that part, it was interesting, but I felt that while it wasn't shocking to me as a reader, like any of the reveals, like none of the reveals were like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then you finally get you're going to get the showdown between Superman and Dr. Manhattan, which was been hinted at from the beginning. Even before there was a Doomsday Clock, they had hinted at that. Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad we finally got to that point.
Next issue should be good when we get in 4 months.
But yeah, it was well done. It was good. I just thought after the last issue, which was probably my favorite issue of the series, where they basically explained how Dr. Manhattan affected the DC universe. Yeah. Like, that one was really, really, really good. While this was just like, okay, we're moving everything into place for the finale now.
We're going along, yeah.
And he can knock it out of the park on that finale, that last issue, as far as I know, and I'm really looking forward to it. I gave it a 4, though. I liked it. I thought it was another good issue. It just, again, I think it gets affected by the result of us waiting so long in between each issue. But for this chapter, compared to some of the other really great ones, I just gave it a 4.
Yeah, I definitely feel like me myself, I get really affected when things like this that are really in depth don't come out.
Yeah.
Like, frequently. Like, I'm okay with, like, a gap here and there, but this is, every issue is, a lengthy,
right,
like, interval.
Yeah.
This I gave a 3.5. I don't know. I have a hard time really connecting with the story again, and then, like, I feel like it's a whole struggle to get back in, and then by the time I get back in, it's fucking over. So, like, I did enjoy it, and I am excited for the next issue with Dr. Manhattan and Superman kind of finally they're just eyeing each other right now. So we'll see what happens.
Could be the end of the DC universe or the Watchmen universe.
Yeah.
I guess which one's gonna go.
DC, obviously.
I mean, that's what they basically said in this issue too.
I
Like
know.
that was the whole reason Dr. Manhattan wanted to meet him, because he thinks it's gonna be the ultimate end of one of their two universes, right?
So yeah, no, I gave it a 3.5. I thought it was good.
One more thing, actually, I just quickly want to mention before we move on. I thought my favorite part was probably the reveal. Well, I guess you found out the issue before this, but just him explaining it more in depth, the realization that the guy who was running around with the Rorschach mask on was basically wearing the mask of his father's killer, like, because he pushed him over the edge, like, towards the end of his life. Like, he didn't know that his father had written all these horrible things about his treatment with Rorschach in his journal. And then this whole time, he's been basically thinking that he was such great friends with Rorschach, and then he's been running around. Yeah, like, the fact that Ozymandias pointed that out in this, he's just like, wow, that's really tragic. He's been fucking running around.
Fucked up.
Yeah, and he's like, yep, I did that. I'm the reason for that. I was just like, whoa. I was like,
yeah, that was me.
So that was, that was a pretty badass moment with him.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I love Bubastis, too, his cat. That Lynx, I love him. He's the best.
I like him too, and I like that he showed up a couple times now, and I was like, I couldn't remember his name to save my life. So, on to the next one. We have Space Bandits by Mark Millar and Matteo Scalera, and we all know Matteo Scalera really can't do wrong when drawing a book, and this is some otherworldly. This issue had some crazy friggin' scenes and a lot of gore, and I thought this was fantastic, and they go on basically to show, I can never remember names in books, it's horrible, but the two women in this that have teamed up basically to find the white lizard that's endangered, basically. They go to this sex ship, right? It's a sex ship, and they're trying to get in, and she's like, oh crap, like, we can't get in unless we're VIPs or whatever, and they only have deluxe. So they get and then the person's like, oh, well, do you have a what the fuck is it, like a
mind, like a reader, kind of, not
a mind
reader,
warper,
like a telepathic,
almost.
like a telepathic person, basically.
Basically can warp your mind so that they see whatever they want. And they're like, oh, like, they get up to, this area, and he's like, oh, I can do whatever you want. I can be a vegetable, I could be this, I could be that, I could be oil or fucking air, whatever you need me to be, I can be. And they stick a gun to his head, and they walk out the door, so they're all shown to be, like, basically officers.
Yeah. And
they go through, and they get up to this door, and they're like, oh, we really need to be, something more extreme. This guy, like, they need to be super intriguing to this guy. And you're thinking, like, they're already really attractive women. Like, how much fucking hotter or how much crazier can shit get? They're fucking mucus aliens with tits, like, down to the floor.
Yeah.
Like, weird tails. And then he's just like, I've always wanted to fuck one of you, and then now there's two.
Yeah.
And just like, oh my god.
Meanwhile, he's getting ran with a huge fucking pole from
from
ass,
behind while banging these
banging
weird, like double-butted, weird dog. Triple-headed, double-butted.
Just weird alien orgy sex going on that you busted on.
Bizarre. And then the guy, the like telepathic guy, is just like, this guy's been here for 30-something years. Like, he's the worst fucking human being that you can possibly have around.
I don't think he's been there for that long.
35 years.
Is that what he said?
Worst customer in 35 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's only been 2 years that he's
sorry.
But he's already almost went through all of the money that they stole, they mentioned.
That's what it was. Sorry.
Drugs, and he's basically just lived there.
And just banging through everything that he has. Yeah, sorry. It was in 35 years. He's been there for 2.
Everyone hates him. Everyone hates him.
But he has so much money that he's in this VIP lot, and everybody just bows down to him because they want the money. But oh, fuck. I give this a 5. It was bizarre and excellent all at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. I thought this was amazing. Matteo Scalera is a beast. We say it all the time. I don't know where he fucking found in his schedule while wrapping up Black Science.
No idea to start doing this. Like, he must have been done Black Science way before this.
Because it's not like either of the books have suffered from quality.
It's not like Mike Deodato.
Yeah, exactly. Where it looks like two different people.
Yeah.
But yeah, sign me up for alien orgies on sex ships in space. That's a pretty awesome comic to me right there. Yeah, and then you also had that awesome part at the start of this where you had some guy that just boiled people's fucking brains.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't even touch on that, but yeah.
Because they basically tracked down one of the other people on the cruise ship that she worked for at the start of this and killed him, and then moved on to the second guy, which was the guy in the sex ship, because that was majority of the issue is focused on that. But the fact that her friend here got blasted out of a fucking window and survived in this, like she basically got killed.
I know.
But then she fell in like these like rejuvenating fish that are at
like,
this spa place, like kind of like the things that eat the shit off your feet.
Dead feet and the dead skin off your feet. Yeah.
But like these ones can actually like heal you and rejuvenate you and like make you younger and all this kind of crazy stuff.
And she just like leaped back into play.
Yeah, and then she basically just like resurrected because the fishes brought her back. That was pretty
by
crazy.
the end of it, she didn't have any wounds or anything.
And also this ship, did you look at how the ship looks? It's basically looks like a guy fucking...
Yeah, banging.
No, well, that's what I thought at first, too, but it also seems like he's shooting himself up in the arm, because you see how he's got something in his arm?
Yeah.
So, like, the ship, the floating sex ship, is basically a guy sprawled back in ecstasy, looking like he's injecting himself in the arm.
It just looked like he was banging
That's what I thought at first, too, because, like, the way his head was rolled back, it looked like he was getting blown, or someone was, like, on top of him or something like that. Who knows?
But yeah, the placement of the arm.
The placement of the arm, though, if you look at that.
And the way that the other fist is all...
And as we learn, this is also a drug-fueled ship with the
that
sex.
Makes
like,
sense.
the guy said he was up for days on fucking drugs, right? So that's just an interesting
I
thing I noticed.
That.
Also, so Mateo, he just brings it. He's so good.
Oh, he is excellent.
But yeah, excellent issue, 5. All right, so next up we got House of X. This is number 4. If you recall, House of X actually came out last week, so... like the 2 weeks before that, instead of flipping back and forth, it was 2 issues of Powers of X, and the last 2 weeks has been 2 issues of House of X. Like as I've mentioned before, this is my favorite of the 2 series, and this was another great issue, I thought. After the last issue, where they basically went on this like suicide mission almost to kind of take out the mother mold and the master mold and all this shit in space that's making all these sentinels that will eventually grow to be this the Nimrod, which will end up taking out the mutant race in the future, which we've learned over the last few issues between the 2 series. At the end of the last issue, some guy like Suicide blew himself up in part of the ship that they had entered, the X-Men, and in this you find out that he ended up killing a couple of people because of that. Archangel's dead. Someone else was dead, they mentioned, I can't recall. And like Nightcrawler was injured, Wolverine was injured, like you could see him basically regenerating, his arm was like shredded because he got blown up, and then a whole bunch of them fucking die in this. Like I was like, okay, I'm sure there's gonna be something that's gonna bring them back, because right now they like he basically wiped the board of like all like these OG X-Men, like Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine. Well, Wolverine kind of gets again. I'm sure he's not dead even in this like in this current timeline, because like he does get blown up in space, and he does like he is the one that jumped out and basically got the last thing done. Like they had to like go into 4 different chambers of this
and blow up like a cylinder or something.
Exactly. So that they couldn't activate these sentinels essentially. And Wolverine like was like the last man standing, like when he was out there trying to get it done with Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler basically warped him into a place just to get blown up. Like he knew. Like he turns to him, he's like, hey, you think there's gonna be a heaven or a hell? And he's like, don't worry, my friend, I'll see you there when we get there. And like, and then he literally bamps him into an area that blows up right away, almost, and he jumps out and like actually in space takes out the last thing that he needs to, and that's what I mean, like he gets projected off into space somewhere, like
so we don't know what really happens with him, but
fuck, like everyone else gets killed.
Wasn't Jean Grey still alive? Wasn't she the only one alive that was contacting them?
She was, but then at the end her ship that was heading back to Earth got attacked by a bunch of these
right, sorry.
So it looks like she also died at the end there too, so
I just remember
she may have survived, but it looked like she was dead.
Yeah, about to.
And then fucking Xavier at the end here has like one of these like moments, like that guy I fucking hate on The Sopranos, the last dude where he's like, no more. He's like, he was just, when he gets disrespected for like the last time, that's basically what happens here though. At the end, he's just like, you see like a single tear roll down his, like, and also another theory that's going around on the internet, I wanted to know what you thought of this. Do you think this is fucking Xavier? Who knows with this mask,
we really
right?
don't know. Like, he just has an X on his head. Yeah. You really don't, you can't tell for sure.
Right.
He hasn't taken it off once.
Mm-hmm. There's in the Grant Morrison's run of the X-Men, there was a period of time where someone was wearing a mask like this who he thought was somebody who they weren't, and then the whole time it turned out
to be somebody completely different.
So like, again, I don't know. Like,
we don't know for sure.
Everyone thinks it's Xavier. In this,
but
like,
who knows? Like, it's the glasses, the Clark Kent glasses.
Right. So I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, he kind of just at the end, and you see like a few different like news clippings, like kind of.
I love the end, like the ending graphics in it,
because it kind of hits on a bunch of different things that have happened in the mutants' history, like actual events that have happened in the comics that have taken out mutants. Like there's been House of X, the Genosha, the decimation, like all this kind of stuff. Anyways. I gave it a 5. I really, really enjoyed this. And it surprised me because I did not expect everyone to get killed in this like they did. Yeah.
I know. This isn't... I don't know if this is the first one I actually gave a 5 to.
No, I think you did for the first issue of House of X.
Yeah.
And then everything since then, I think
has been a little bit like... One, I felt retarded. Yeah.
It's not politically correct.
I know, I'm not. I'm sorry. Fuck. What do you say?
I don't know. I felt stupid. That's acceptable still.
Fuck. Shut up.
All right, go on.
Yeah, no, everything you said, like, I was in shock with this. Like, I was in awe. Like, everything in this. The art was fantastic. Who's that again?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, but she looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
She looks like a Wolverine, like a legit Wolverine. Not like Wolverine the character, but like an actual animal.
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't know who she is, but she looks amazing. But she died.
Yeah, I don't know that mutant.
Okay.
I don't know all the mutants. I know most of them.
No, I know. I just was asking. You know a lot more than I do. But yeah, the Bamfs and stuff. I love Bamfing. There's not much more I can really say. You pretty much touched on everything. We had a good conversation over this.
About it.
That's okay. But no, I actually loved this issue. I gave it a 5 as well.
Good.
But then the ending, this like no more ending. I just thought the imagery in it was so good, and yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was the last straw. Apparently, Xavier was pissed at the end of that.
Yeah, he's like, fucking shit up now. Like he's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good 5. My last issue of the night is Fantastic Four, number 14, written by Dan Slott, art by Paco Medina. He just really knows how to write these characters, because he knows how to hit all the feels at all times. And this wasn't even like supposed to be, I don't know what it was supposed to be, but like to me it seems like it wasn't supposed to be like a super feels type of book or issue. Mm-hmm. It was just basically showing their background and, you know, kind of where they started. But then this whole thing with Thing is just so like, you know, they almost died when they first tried this mission with the rocket, the Marvel one, and now Mr. Fantastic wants this whole new like he has inspiration to do a Marvel 2, and him and Johnny Storm go and they have like a whole bonding experience creating this whole new rocket where his kids are judging them, and you know, why are we trying to go back to the old times when we've got all these hot new things?
It's so clear time and time again that Dan Slott does not know what to do with the kids in this book.
No.
Which is fine with me.
But it's so of the times. These kids would very much be like, why am I going backwards when except for Minecraft. Minecraft is the only thing I don't understand with kids. Why is that attractive to you?
I just liked how they're just like, they're like, this is lame. I'm out. You out? And you're like, she's out. Like, I'm out. And they both fuck off. And
like, bye. And then they build it like, no. But yeah, no, and then the whole ending with him, like Ben talking to his wife, and he's like talking about it, she's like, yep.
Just going through the motions.
Honey.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Yes, I agree. And
I
know this from personal experience. I've had these conversations.
With who?
Oh, I don't know. And then next thing you know, like, he sees somebody else in his seat and he's like, I cannot let this happen. She goes, here's your lunch and here's your coffee. And then everyone else is like, he's like, hey, this seat is oversized with people with big mitts. Yeah. Like, everyone knew he would come, but he just had to be like mopey. And...
The best was the last straw when he seen the robot Herbie. He's like, Herbie! He's like, and then he like,
and then he goes into, he's like, Herbie's not even activated. Yeah. And everyone looked at him like, really?
Yeah, I loved that.
Oh, it was so good. I gave this a 5.
Of course.
Oh, it was so good.
Really? Yeah, you know what? I really didn't like this. No, I'm just joking.
I just gave him the worst look ever. Fuck.
I loved this issue.
Good.
Like you said, the feeling that this gave me. The most... and also all kinds of emotions. This is one of the only other books I actually laughed numerous times in this week. And not only that, the emotional roller coaster this fucking single issue took you on. Because this is like the start of it looks like a new arc. Like, it looks like now with the next issue, they're going to finally, because they took off in the rocket, go on their adventure. The same one that turned them basically into the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But the saddest part, I'll read it to you, was the part where he's looking at the rocket. And, like, some kid, because they were the Smithsonian, and he's being reminded at how he's like, yeah, like, look what happened to me. Like, I'm looking at all these things around us. That man did this with his rocket. This one did this. Like, I failed us. And, like, I'm the one who crashed this fucking rocket. And we turned into these, you know, these things.
Essentially.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm going to be reminded of that constantly now. It's like of me not being a good pilot.
Of me being a failure.
And because the reason it's there is because it created the Fantastic Four. And it is a part of history in that sense.
Historical moment.
But it wasn't, you know, a perfect nautical, like, you know.
No, it wasn't like a huge success. Like, woohoo, it was a failure that ended up creating something great.
Wait, nautical's boats, isn't it? Yeah. I meant, aviation.
Aviation,
thank you. But basically, it's the moment where the kid is, like, seeing him, and he's, like, sulking with his wife, and then this kid, like, in the Smithsonian is like, hey, check out that monster. Thought it was an animatronic, but it's, like, a monster for real. And his mom's just like, honey, what have I told you? We don't point at the disfigured.
Yeah.
and then his wife's like, Ben, I'm so sorry. And he's just like sulking.
He's like sulks in a corner, and then he has everything that happens after that, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him. But like
he still didn't get laid on his honeymoon.
No, but like the fact that he realized that, like, he, you know, even despite like him trying not to get involved with them at the end there, like, he knows he's there for them always. Like, he has to be
they're
there
family,
for them. They're family,
and he knows that
that's what I mean. He gets the family aspect of the Fantastic Four so well. Anyways, I gave it a 5. This was just simply an amazing issue.
Simply amazing.
Yeah. All right. Last up, we got Superman Up in the Sky. This is issue number 3. Oh, also Paco Medina, the artist on Fantastic Four, was fantastic. Way better than the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'm using the word fantastic a lot for Fantastic Four. All right. So
it's kind of necessary.
Last up, Superman Up in the Sky, number 3, written by Tom King, art by Adam Kubert. This had 2 different stories in it, as all these issues have, because these were originally the shorter stories that were released in the Walmart releases, and now being reprinted by DC Comics for the regular market. I really enjoyed this issue. I enjoyed, surprisingly, the first issue more than the second issue, because again, like, which is weird, because the second issue was like, sorry, not the second issue, the second story was a story about Sergeant Rock, like him and Superman on the battlefield, and like a World War II scenario thing. And Adam Kubert drew it, and his dad Joe Kubert is the one who drew a lot of Sergeant Rock, and is well known for that. So it was kind of cool seeing him, even though they got different art styles. That. So that was probably pretty cool for him, and I'm sure that's why Tom King wanted to do it. And his involvement with the CIA and this kind of thing. He loves these war stories. I've seen him do a few of them. And so do I. I thought that was good. I liked it. I liked how they showed Superman as a regular man on the battlefield. The reason I've liked this series so far is, as he's been on this quest to save this kid, he's constantly being tested, and he kind of like humanizes him, and there's people in the stories that end up helping him, and it makes him seem really grounded, and just kind of like you know, like, because Superman, you know, it's hard to test this character because he's so strong. And, like, I feel that's usually the reason why I don't like many Superman stories, because, like, what can you do to him? Like, right? Like, he's
it's
Superman.
hard to actually see him as a human being, kind of thing.
But, like, yeah, that's why, in particular, the first story, in comparison to the second one, while good, because he acted like a normal person on the battlefield, just trying to help out Sergeant Rock until the end, when he turned into the Man of Steel. I liked how he was fretting like what was going on with Lois. Like, he gets stuck in this space station place where he's waiting on a phone call.
Yeah, it's almost like a DMV situation.
Yeah, exactly. And there's other aliens that are sitting there like saying, oh wow, I remember one time I waited fucking eons before I was able to like get a phone call in and all this kind of stuff.
To Earth.
And meanwhile, you're getting all these different cuts like in between the storyline of seeing him wait there and ask like when his turn is up in the line. Like, like you said, it's like a DMV situation. It's
they pull up the numbers and now calling number.
Yeah. And he's just in this fucking waiting room. You keep seeing different scenes of things that might have happened to Lois. Like, you see like the Joker
he keeps imagining everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't really get that context until later on when he gets on the phone with her and he finally gets to talk to her and he's like, oh, you're okay. And he's like, oh, don't worry about me, Clark. And he's like, yeah, no, of course not. Why I wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, you know, I'm dealing with this other thing right now.
Yeah.
And meanwhile she's like, oh, sorry, I gotta go. There's a shooting downtown that I gotta report on or something like that. And he was just like, he's like, oh okay, I'll talk to you later, kind of thing. He's like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I really just spent so long trying to speak to you.
Yeah, but otherwise, I really enjoyed this issue. I gave it a 4.5.
That's fair. Yeah, I really liked the first issue. I thought the first story. I'm pulling that one too now. I liked the fact that this was like a DMV situation. He's like sitting there, like just cradling his head in his hands, just, you know, like, when is it my turn? He's trying really hard to be patient. He's like, oh, but you called my name. They're like, Superman? He's like, no, with an E. And then later on, you get another one. He's like, no, you called my name. They're like, no, we didn't call your name. Because they're like, I don't know, hearing like Superman. Yeah. And then they're like, well, we have a Superman with an E. And he's like, that's me. Yeah. He's like, you called my name. And that's when you start to see him like break a little bit. And that's when he ends up talking to Lois for the 3.3 seconds that he got to talk to her. But then the second part of the story, I don't know. I don't have the connection to that character. I didn't really connect to it at all. I thought it was kind of boring to me personally. I just didn't.
Well, I agree.
I'm also not a big war story.
I agree. The better of the two for me was the first one as well, and most of my rating is based on that. But like, if you had to do it as a whole, like I gave
this a 3.5 for me as a whole.
Fair enough.
Like the first one, I loved it so much. I was like, I want to see more, and then it was like the next story, and I'm like, no.
I didn't mind the second one, so that's why I gave it such a higher rating, because like for me that first part was really, really spectacular.
Yeah, it was really strong.
All right, so moment of truth now.
All right, it's your turn to go first.
Our favorites of the week.
Yeah.
I struggled with it this week.
I know.
As you can tell, I gave a few different 5s out. I can make an argument for any of them, to be honest. Yeah. Even some of the books I gave 4.5 to, you know, were very close to being like, you know,
on the verge of.
I have to give it to Fantastic Four, though.
No, me too.
Why is that a no?
I don't know.
I was going back and forth today. Like, I almost was going to give it to Space Bandits. Yeah. Just because it was a hell of a lot of fun. Yeah, exactly, because of that. And I also almost gave it to Deceased, A Good Day to Die. Because for me, I just felt those were the more fun, kind of fun romp type of books. But the feeling I got from Fantastic Four, it made me feel something, and it made me laugh, and barely any, other than probably like Deceased, and you know, some of the Berserker Unbound stuff was funny tonight, but it gave me the most different types of emotions. This one, Fantastic Four tonight.
That's what set it above for me too. Like, I had the laughs with quite a few, especially the Conan ones. I had a good laugh in some of those Conans, and like you said, like the two Image ones that we read today too, the Space Bandits and Sea of Stars. Yeah. Those two I also had good laughs out of, but like Fantastic Four with the feels, they hit it home.
Yeah, I mean, I get laughs, but there's few books that make me laugh out loud.
Yeah,
like,
no,
actually,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll get a chuckle,
You're like,
but like the ones where I'm like laughing at a few different parts, it's always usually a candidate for me because I feel like humor's hard to convey in comics because if you don't have a good artist to actually show
to portray it, and stuff,
like you could say a funny line.
They really work hand in hand.
Yeah,
like a lot of people kind of misdrew like the combination of people.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this was great. So there you have it, guys. Fantastic Four issue 14 was both me and Christine's favorite of the week.
Woohoo! We agreed on something.
I think that's the second time, actually, out of 2 episodes we had the same pick, I think. Yeah.
I think so.
But that's good. It's good to have different opinions, and that's why half the reason why we started doing this.
Yeah,
is to
we like to talk things out.
Yeah, because before we would both just read the books and not really discuss them with each other, so we never really knew. Like, we always discussed them, but not to this level of giving ratings and stuff, right? So, but we have also been doing that a while now. So.
I was like, yeah, we have. I'm like, we've been doing that for like 5 years.
Yeah, hence why we started the show.
Yeah.
All right, though, guys, that'll be it for tonight, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much.